The growing impact of the three-point play, and it seems to me the near certainty that somewhere down the road we're going to get a widening of the free throw lane to handle the big people. The big man is still the man in all levels of basketball. Of the 24 players that we're watching today, we made this point early on. The 12 of the 24 stand 6'9" or better, and that's big for teenagers. When you talk big men in basketball, you have to talk about people like Bill Russell, both at USF as a collegian and the Boston Celtics. Those back-to-back collegiate titles giving a glimmer of what was to come when Russ became the legend with the Celtics. Because it was there his defense became part of their offense. And then there was Wilt. His great size and strength made him the game's greatest scorer. He could totally dominate a game. And Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came as yet another kind of big man, a blending of talents, including running the floor with speed and agility. And now, the new crop. LaFonso Ellis, 6'9", 220, and obviously still growing. He loves to bang the boards. Averaging 19 rebounds per game in his senior year, he's headed for Notre Dame. And this big guy, Donald Hodge, at 6'10", is headed for Temple. He weighs about 210, but he'll add some weight. He's got a big frame. His favorite food is lasagna, so I imagine John Cheney of the Temple Owls will let him have some lasagna to put on some more beef around the boards. Jared Mustaf at 6'10" and about 220 will play for Bob Wade at Maryland, staying at home, if you will. Morgan Wooten, who helps run this game, was Mustaf's high school coach, and he thinks the potential here is almost unlimited. Christian Laettner at 6'10", 215 pounds, and he's a big, rangy guy that could easily carry another 15 or 20 pounds. On top of that, he's going to Duke with a straight 4-point grade average. And Stanley Roberts at 6'11", he's headed for LSU. He may want to drop some pounds, but he is rated the best true center coming out of high school basketball this year. Though it would seem that he may have to learn to bang the boards and play inside with a little more authority. And then there is this man, Alonzo Mourning at 6'10", 230, perhaps the most complete player of this group at this time, and perhaps the most advanced. But moving to the next level of competition, it's going to be very interesting to watch these young, big men as they grow up in the game of basketball. Sometimes some surprise you. They grow higher than you thought they might. All right, now, Dick, there have been a lot of people that have been called, well, Webster was called the eraser, I mean, go on and on and on and on, guys coming out of college, but not very often do young people come out of high school with the reputation for shot blocking that Mourning has.
Unbelievable. You know, the other day, great conversation. I introduced Alonzo to Red Auerbach at the Naismith banquet, and Red Auerbach brought him over, and he had the cigar, as only Red can do. And Red says, I hear you block a lot of shots. He says, yes. He said, but I had a fair shot blocker by the name of Bill Russell. He says, yes, I heard about him from John Thompson. He said, let me tell you about Russell. When Russell blocked the shot, the ball stayed in play. He would bring the ball back, and we would get the transition game and get a layup. He said, Alonzo, don't hit the ball and knock it in the third deck. Well, Alonzo stood there in awe, and I could just see the look on his face. And the other day, I had a conversation with John Thompson and with Bill Russell. And I said, Russell, he blocked 28 shots. You know what he said? He said, that's bad defense. He said, if you're blocking shots, he said, that means the other guys aren't playing good defense. And he said another time he blocked 8 1/4 in the NBA, and he turned to his teammates after blocking 8. He said, hey, fellas, he said, you're playing poor defense. I should be blocking that many. But I'll tell you one thing. If this kid could only be half, remember this about Bill Russell. He has more rings than we have fingers for championships. And I think we're a little too quick, and I know I'm guilty probably more than anyone, Keith, when I say the mini version of Isaiah, that we start to talk about these kids in the terms of the great, great players. But Alonzo's certainly got a head start on a lot of people. He's got a world of potential.
Yeah, and you're right. You're just adding pressure. We'll be right back.